Okay, so let's skip to the punchline. The most important thing in audio for video is the recording. I know, don't hate me. I know some of you have already recorded and you're trying to figure out what to do now. I'm going to make a video for that. But this is so important. And if we can spend a little bit more time on getting audio right at the beginning, it's going to save us so much time, so much energy, so much heartache. And your product's just going to be better. And so I want to help you out with a couple of ideas to think about when recording audio for video. So the first thing in getting a clean sound is thinking through the background noise or ambient noise. Here's a set that I was recently on, and we recorded Monday through Thursday 4 times a day. And as I set up, I just was like, man, this is not going to work. There's just too much ambient sound. The room was reflective. And so I contacted the facilities team and said, hey, we need to turn off the HVAC when we're recording. They worked with me. Then I contacted the coffee shop manager. Said, hey, we need to turn off these refrigerators. How can we do that? And that helped so much. It's really a pain, and you got to plan and you got to have conversations because there's things that, a lot of times you don't have control to turn off. But thankfully I have good relationships with these guys and they helped me out, and it helped so much. We would not have had a good product if we did not make those changes. And so you need to think through just the different things that are going to be picked up. Listen. If you hear it, your microphone's going to hear it. Also, just time of day that you record. Right now, it's 9 o'clock. My 2.5-year-old son is down the hall. My infant is across the house. And this is really the best time to record because they're asleep. If I record at a different time of day, you're going to hear them. And so planning when you record is going to make things so much better. The second thing to consider is the kind of microphone. There's condensers and there's dynamic microphones. There's also ribbons, but I'm assuming you're not using that. And so a dynamic microphone is going to be much better in eliminating ambient sound. The way it picks up sound is very different. A condenser needs to be powered, and so it needs typically phantom power. Sometimes it's a USB microphone, and so it's getting power that way. But it's going to pick up a lot more ambient sound, and you have to be a lot more careful when thinking through how to use that. And so just understanding the difference between the two, you can kind of just look it up online. In general, shotgun microphones, USB microphones, the big condenser studio microphones, those are all, they're all condensers. Dynamic microphones are typically going to be more like your SM58, SM57. Those are like the microphones that you see like a singer use or what goes on a snare. And those are great microphones. I have a lot of clients use that for podcasts, and they're not as sexy, but they really help keep sound consistent and eliminate a lot of ambient sound depending on where they're recording. So those are great options. And other dynamic microphones are great options, just depending on what you're doing. So give them a try if you have the opportunity. A third thing to consider is the pickup pattern. Is it omni? Is it cardioid? Is it figure 8? All you need to know is what direction does this microphone pick up sound. You can look up the specs online, or you can just plug it in and listen. And don't listen to people online who use sweeping statements like, all lavs are omni. No, things are specific. A lot of lavs are omni, but there's some that are cardioid. And if you have a lav, and it's drooping to the side, and it's a cardioid, you're going to get bad signal. And so make sure you understand how it's picking up sound. If you don't know what is the front of the microphone, there's a 421 and it looks like it would pick up sound on the sides of it, but it's actually kind of the top of it is how it picks up sound. Know what is the right side of the microphone. And so you're not going to make a mistake and think you have it pointed the right way and you're picking up sound this way. I know it's basic, guys, but you'd be surprised. These simple things, that's what people mess up all the time. Understanding shotgun microphones and they're picking up sound in a certain way and how people lean. And so, if someone's interviewing and they go forward, I have this one set up to where if I lean forward, it's still going to pick up a decent sound. A lot of people have it pointed right at the mouth, and the moment they lean forward, now it's at their forehead, or even worse, it's behind them. And so you're not going to get any good sound. So, plan for movements as well. The fourth thing to consider is inverse square law. Now, we're not going to go into the details, but what you need to know is every doubling of distance from the source of a sound, you lose 6 dB, which might not mean anything to you, but let me say it a different way. There is a exponential relationship between distance from someone speaking and the microphone and how loud it's going to sound. So the difference between this and this is like 24 dB. And so to compensate, you're going to turn up, the microphone right here, you're going to turn it up 24 dB. Well, guess what that does? That also brings the ambient sound up 24 dB. And so if you're trying to eliminate sound, having a microphone closer is going to eliminate so much of your problems. There's a guy that I know that we were talking about microphones, and he's like, yeah, shotguns just have more ambient sound. They're just more ambient mics. And I'm like, I get what you're saying, but that's not true. They sound more ambient because they're always further away than a lav. A lav's right here. A shotgun's, right here. And so, like I said, it's not that shotguns are more ambient mics. And in fact, they're much more directional. And so they're rejecting a lot more typically than a lav, which is usually an omni, sometimes a cardioid. And so, yeah, just be cognizant as much as you can. Get a mic close. I understand you're trying to do a wide shot, but just understand the repercussions of that. If it's going to mess up your audio and there's no way to get good audio and you don't have a lav, you might need to plan something out, or you might need to figure out a way to hide a microphone closer to the source. Because just having a shotgun far away and hoping it works out, it's not a good plan. The final thing to consider is testing. Just test, listen, spend 5 minutes recording, just 5 minutes. And it's going to save you so much time, guys. You spend so much time thinking about the script, revising, getting the shot right, getting the lighting right. If you don't get the audio right, it doesn't matter. Audio is the first determining factor of how someone thinks the quality of your video is. There's been scientific studies done on this. I'm not making this up. Audio matters more than the look of your video for determining quality. Because if the quality of your audio is bad, people are just going to be like, nope, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. And I get it. I make mistakes. I'm sure like this video or other videos, there's things that I could do better. But really just spend time testing and listening, and it's going to save you so many problems. You're going to hear things that you didn't think you could hear. And so I'm very passionate about this because I've dealt with it for years, and I want your product to be the best it can be. I can always help, after the audio is recorded. There's things that can be done. But ultimately, the best way to help is to get it right the first time.